so so my name is Leah Kraus. I'm the director at Fayetteville Free, or the director, I'm the assistant director at the Fayetteville Free Library. And today I'm gonna be leading a class for you on Facebook Ads 101. So this is meant to be a pretty introductory class for people who may have a Facebook page or Facebook business page and don't have any experience with using ads, or perhaps just very limited experience. So I'm going to go a little bit into how ads work and what the possibilities are with ads, and walk through a sample of what it's like to create an ad. So I will start by pulling up my PowerPoint here. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so of course we know, as you've been joining us along with this series, we know that Facebook is the social platform that is most popular with both marketers and consumers. So Facebook really is, even though Facebook is not a place that people go to shop per se, or to find, they're not going there necessarily for information about a business. However, this is where they end up connecting and getting exposed to new brands and business content. And also, we know that there are 2 billion active Facebook users. So it's a huge audience, but at the same time, there's a huge number of businesses, a huge amount of ads. It's estimated that today in the US, we see somewhere between 4,000 and 10,000 ads daily, and a lot of these are on social media. So we're seeing so many images. Part of Facebook ads is not just doing it, but thinking about how we're targeting to the audience that is interested in what we're putting out there, and how to get people to pause their thumb when they're scrolling and take a look at our ad, and not just have it be more white noise. So what are Facebook ads? So we see them all the time. This is an example of when you're scrolling through your news feed on the left here. So Fairmount Community Library is something that shows up organically in my news feed. And then on the right here, you see sponsored. So this is sponsored content. This is an ad on Facebook. So I'm seeing ads here for Overstock and for Stitch Fix. So that's one place that you might see a Facebook ad, and that if you create an ad, it will appear. This is a desktop view, so people see them on the sort of right-hand column of their desktop. Ads also appear in your main news feed. So as you're scrolling through content from friends, family, brands that you follow that are just unpaid posts, you'll also see sponsored posts, and you can see the only thing that really clues people in that this is in fact an ad is the small gray word sponsored up here. Otherwise, this looks a lot like it could be a news article or an information piece. You can see I still have on my right sidebar here an ad for Misfit Market. So I'm seeing 2 ads right now as I'm scrolling through my feed. But there are many other places that Facebook ads also appear, since Instagram is owned by Facebook, and you can integrate your Facebook and Instagram accounts. Facebook ads can also get placed in Instagram. So that's important to know for when we're designing ads, as Instagram is a square platform, and square images are the ideal to be using for Instagram. So a lot of times square is a good format if you're creating ads that you want to place in both Facebook and Instagram. And again, you can just tell that these are ads from the little sponsored symbol there. Okay, so let's get right into how do we create an ad. There are 2 ways to create. Well, there are kind of a number of pathways into creating ads on Facebook, but there are 2 primary differences. Facebook has an ad center, and Facebook also has an ads manager. And Ad Center is the simplest way to advertise on Facebook. But it also lacks a lot of the customization and targeting and optimization that Ads Manager is. I would say Ad Center is the very beginner, most basic level of advertising you can do. So I'm hoping that as we move on, I want to show you an example of using Ad Center and Ads Manager. But before we go into that, let's talk a little bit about what you will do. This is from Ads. This is a screenshot from Ad Center. So when you go to create your ad, when you click on the Ad Center, you will define an objective. And whether you're using Ad Center or Ad Manager, this is your first step. So you are deciding, what are you trying to achieve with your ad? Are you going to do what's called boosting a post, again, which is a very simple option of taking a post that you already created and putting some dollars behind it in order to get it in front of the audience you're looking for? You can boost an Instagram post. You can do the same thing with an event, put some dollars behind an event that you created in order to get it in front of more people. You can also do ads to promote your page itself if you're looking to get more page followers, to just raise awareness about your business locally, to attract more visitors to your website, or to get more leads. So those are all options for you within the Ad Center, and there are similar but more specific and additional options for your objective in Ads Manager. So the next step is setting your budget, and you can choose a duration for your ad. Again, I'm showing the Ad Center view. So you can choose a duration for your ad, how long you want it to run, as well as a budget for your ad. So you can select a lifetime. So say you select that you're going to spend $10 total on this ad. That you're never going to get charged more than that. That's your cap. That's the limit. And Facebook will show you based on that and based on the audience you selected. You picked 5 days, $10. You're spending $2 a day, and this is about how many people you're going to reach. So that's how many people it's going to get in front of. So again, budgeting can be a lot more detailed and tailored in Ads Manager, and you can choose a lot more. There are a lot of more specific choices in terms of how you're placing the ad, whether you're running it all the time or just certain times of day. On different platforms, you can pick if you want it to be in Instagram, if you want it to be in the Facebook sidebar. So, but this is Ad Center version of budgeting. And there's a lot to think about with budgeting. What I would recommend is there are several Facebook budget calculators that can help. If you just Google that term, it can help you determine what a reasonable and realistic budget is for your Facebook ad based on your goals. So if you have a really specific goal that you want to, you're expecting from this ad to gain $2,000 in new revenue or new sales on your website, this calculator can help you figure out, based on current sales on your website, or what your current kind of conversion rate is through your website, how much do you need to spend on ads to get it in front of the right number of people, to get the right number of people to your website, to get the right number of sales. So those sort of tools are very specific to your individual goals. I have to say, we at the library, when I'm doing a Facebook ad, I don't budget that way at all, because we don't have goals that are related to conversions or a specific revenue goal. Our goal is usually related to brand awareness or event awareness. Um, so, so anyways, there's a lot of different ways you can budget and look into those budget calculators. I also included some links at the end to some articles about budgeting. One of the most valuable things about Facebook ads is your ability to really, really drill down with the targeting of your audience. So Facebook, as many people know, collects a lot of information about you when not only when you use Facebook, but also in your off Facebook interactions. So Facebook allows you to target people based on factors including age, gender, interests, location, interactions that you've had with the Facebook page, the business's Facebook or Instagram page, and even interactions that happen outside of Facebook and Instagram, such as visits to the company's website or customer lists. So those are all ways companies have the ability to put what's called a pixel on their website, and that's something you can do. I included the link to the how to install a pixel on your site at the end. So a pixel is a little bit of code that gets installed onto your website, and if you have a website through through something like WordPress or Wix or if there, then it's easy to install this code. And if you have somebody building your site for you or somebody at your business that does that, they should be able to follow the steps pretty easily to install the pixel on your site. And then what that allows you to do is track people. It allows you to tie and track and target people who have visited your site or done certain behaviors on your site, like put something in their cart, for instance, to where you can create an ad that goes specifically to those people. You can also upload a customer list that you have. Say you have Constant Contact or another email marketing service. You can upload those to Facebook and create ads that are targeted for that audience, that sort of thing. Okay. So it's really interesting to see. You can search, if you go to this link on the page, facebook.com/ads/preferences, it'll show you everything Facebook knows about you and what they think your preferences are based on pages you like, your profile that you filled out, websites that you visited, ads you've clicked on, that sort of all of your activity. So your engagement with different pages and ads builds a profile for them. And so they think that these are my interests. Apparently I must say I like chocolate and coffee and beer. So they know me pretty well. And then it has all different categories of interests, you know, from family and relationships, and they know that I was pregnant, they know that I have a child, and they know that I have all of these things are relevant to me, and I've never expressed, you know, I've never put in my profile I like yoga, but they just know that I do based on my use of different pages and ads. So with that being said, that's just a little bit about how the targeting works. And so when you're creating an ad, you can actually pick people. You can say, I want to target my ad to local women in Central New York who are ages 22 to 45 who are interested in yoga. So that's how specific you can be. So in addition to, once you have your target audience, you really, we're competing with so many other ads that are out there and just so much other content. So how do we stand out and give users great content when we're creating ads? One of the biggest strategies and most important strategies is to create ads that don't look like and feel like ads at all, that actually seem like they're just something that the person would normally see in their news feed. It's like, this looks like a picture of, you know, a friend or something like that I might see, or it looks like a news article. What you can do, it's a help, it looks like a help article, right? So that's a big strategy, is to almost kind of mask the fact that it's an ad. Another strategy that's important is using video. And video, if you attended the previous sessions in this series, that's a refrain that we keep on hearing over and over. Video just gets more engagement from viewers than still photos generally. It's something where when you're scrolling and you see even just a bit of motion. So if you play this video, she's not talking. All that's happening is I can't play it because this is just a screenshot, but all she's doing is swiping the brush on her brows and showing how to apply the product. So, and it's just a short 5 seconds that loops and repeats. So, it's just a product demonstration, almost a little bit of a how-to, I guess, but it's enough to be more effective than a still image of the product, perhaps, or a still image of her using the product. It stops that scroll and catches your eye for a minute. And it also looks like the type of content that you might see a person, you know, it's not too staged or even too refined looking. It looks like it could be just user generated content, meaning a person who bought the product and who's liking it, showing it off. So video is a great, if you are going to use video, just do remember that with the nature of scrolling, people, if you're going to have audio in the video, you should use captions, because many people are scrolling and watching with their sound off, and if you don't caption your audio, they're likely to miss whatever message was in that audio. So video without audio is a great strategy. Everything that needs to be said in this ad is just said in the text itself, in the copy of the ad and the title of the ad. So while we're wanting to be creative, we also want to make sure that we don't get so lost in the creative that we're not making the offer clear. So this this ad, for instance, is telling them, give our shoes a shot for 30 days, and if you're not satisfied, we'll take them back, no questions asked. So spelling it out, like in this last ad, it's really clear right up top: save 10% on your first order for every brow every day. And they're telling us, you know, about this product. If you're not walking on cloud 9, we'll take them back. So we're making it clear these shoes are super comfortable, and if you don't love them, we'll take them back. So just always keeping the offer, while we're trying not to be too salesy, the offer needs to be clear. So be helpful. This is part of the strategy that's kind of goes back to that other ad that I showed that looked like, I'll just pop back to it quick. That looks like it's a help article about what women can do about thinning hair. So this is telling you dangerous side effects from your hair growth product and what you can do about it. Of course, when you click on it, it's going to take you to a site where they're selling you products that are better than the ones that have dangerous hair growth products, and that will help with your thinning hair without those. So being helpful is a good strategy to help your ad not feel so much like an ad. So this Rich Bull is a vitamin company, and they're being helpful here by telling us that you may not realize this fact, but most women already get enough calcium from their diets. And so this is some product explanation, really, but rather than saying like buy and it all being about the sale, it's about it's explaining how the product can benefit you and giving you a little bit of needed information. So this is also a video, I should say. I could pull up the video itself. 1 second. That's okay. Not that important. Okay. The other tip with the content for ads is to be authentic and fun. So I mentioned user-generated content before. So that user-generated content just means something that the company or the brand isn't putting out there and creating themselves. It's something that, say I'm a customer of this Billie razor, that I take a picture and I say like, love this new razor, and I share it on my Instagram or my Facebook. So that's user-generated content. Or if I'm at a restaurant downtown and I post a picture of myself eating a smoothie bowl that I love, and tag the business, that's user-generated content. So you can use actual user-generated content in the body for an ad. You can use quotes from different users that helps make it authentic. You can use images that your users have shared, or you can create ads that look like user-generated content. So this ad on the left, this Billie ad, this looks like something you would see just your average consumer or your average person post on Instagram. So they've got an emoji here and a sticker over the top of this post. So it looks like it's their shower, and this is like just a fun post that they're doing. But really, this is Billie they've posted it, you know. So, but this is something that fits in on a news feed and looks authentic and fun. So another part of that authentic, fun sort of feel is using emojis. So that's something you can see they've done on this sticker. They've also done in the body of the post. They have Meet the Razor winning all the awards and a little award post. Daily Harvest here has done something similar. They're breaking up their text with some emojis to bullet, almost like a fun bulleted list where it's ready in minutes, delivered to your door. So it makes their important points stand out and makes it look a little more fun. We may be, I know this is a mistake that at the library we have made for a long time. With Facebook ads and Facebook and Instagram generally, it's best really to post images with little or no text. Most of what is shared, if you are posting something that's full of text, it just screams like ad, and it gets scrolled by. It's not what people are there to see. So this is an example of an image for a cooking school image that has no text. So you're saying, of course, you can't tell anything here about what the offer is or what but that content goes in, not on the image text itself, but in the actual body of the ad. So here they've added just one line of text, and something like this, it could work, but it's still bringing you into that realm of this this is an ad. It would be better to put the 30% off select cooking classes just right in the title and the text of the ad itself, rather than on the creative, the image. And this is what Facebook does not want to see, and an example of what not to do, which is covering your image with the deal. All of this should just go in the text of the ad, not on the image itself. So in fact, Facebook has a 20% rule where no more than 20% of the image should contain text, or the more text that the ad has, it actually will not get shown, and it will get kind of like downgraded by Facebook if you do have this much text. So Facebook has a text checker where you can upload the image that you intend to use for your ad, and double check that it's within Facebook's 20% rule, and it'll show you this is going to get shown as much as possible, or limited, or not at all, based on the amount of text, because Facebook doesn't want the user's experience to be ads, like feel really text heavy, if that makes sense. So I included the link to that text checker at the end, but you can just Google it too. So be colorful and on brand. So again, you can see that both of these ads here, this has just the one line of text. The Rothy's ad, We Love Laundry Day, and they've got the logo. They're showing, it's a white background, but the pop of color on the shoes. And then the Sunbasket, obviously they're lucky they have a really colorful product here that they're able to display. And again, no text on the image. The deal and the text is right up in the body of the ad, the descriptive text there. And then let others brag for you. So if you have awards, if you have positive reviews, or even just, customer feedback that you can utilize, that's a really great way that you can do a kind of a humble brag, or a gentle brag, and let others do the bragging for you and vouch for your product. That's a good strategy for Facebook ads. And this Apothecary sponsored ad here, you can see this is actually a slideshow. This is just a screenshot of one of the images, but what this does is scrolls through a bunch of user-generated images. So you can see that the tag down here, this is a picture that someone else shared of the product on Instagram, and they've got, their ad is like 10 of these images rotating. So it kind of goes to show you, look at all these people liking, enjoying the product. The caption goes along with that idea. So let others brag for you. And then engage with people. So if you're doing ads right, you're going to get people commenting on them like any post. So for instance, these are some comments on that Apothecary post about they have like herbal blends for drinks to achieve different wellness results. And there's people asking questions, making comments, and Apothecary is getting back in a really personal way. So like, send me a sample, and they're explaining, we can't, but here's a discount code for you. Can't wait to hear what you think. So just if you don't respond to questions and comments on your ad, it's a cue for people. They may kind of think you don't have great customer service. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so I wanted to show a few examples. So there are some tools where you can actually, hang on one second. You can actually look at your news feed. Can you all see the scrolling video on my screen?
No, just a link.
No, just a link. Okay, hang on a sec. Let me get back into this. Just one. Okay, that's all right. What I was going to show is that really a lot of the ads that you will see on Facebook are video. There's some tools that you can use to just look at your news feed, just look at the ads in your news feed and get rid of all of the other content. And if you scroll through, for me, it was like 8 out of the 10 ads that I saw were video. Most of them didn't have sound. They just had a little bit of motion, that type of thing. But also, most of them are square. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. So since we are at where we're at, I'd like to actually get into Facebook itself and show a demonstration of how it works when you're creating an ad. Okay. All right. Okay, my computer's just thinking here. It's being a little slow to load. Shut some of these windows. Okay, it's still loading because it's not showing me the bar I need at the top. Okay. So I'm going to go to the Fayetteville. I've got the shortcut to the different pages that I manage on the left here. So I went to the Fayetteville Free Library page. Is everybody seeing that? So at the top here, you can see Ad Center. And this is, as I described, Ad Center is the easiest way to create ads on Facebook, but far less customizable than the Ads Manager. But this is Ad Center. This is a good place to try out ads and like get your feet wet with ads. So when you come here, you can simply start by clicking on Create Ad. Okay, and these are the customization options that I showed you, or the objectives that I showed you earlier. So let's, for instance, say that we want to boost an Instagram post. Let's try that. So this is showing me in chronological order my recent Instagram posts. And maybe for the library, we want to promote that our cafe is now offering curbside pickup. So that's a post that I put on our page, just an organic, unpaid post that I did last week on Instagram. So let's say, okay, I want to boost this post. So it's just pulling the creative, so the photo, and the text that I used for our post last week. So it's using all of that same content. And from here, I can choose. I don't have a ton of options, but I do have some options. I can choose my audience. So I can say, I want to pick my website visitors and people similar to them, which Facebook calls a lookalike audience. So that's one option. Or I can choose people through targeting. I can choose people who like my page and their friends, or more generally, people in my local area. So I also have the ability to, if I go to see all, I have created some custom audiences here that I can choose from, which I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But maybe I want to choose specific people through targeting. So I'm going to say edit. And maybe I want to do all genders, and maybe I think this would appeal. Maybe I'm trying to appeal from anyone, anyone 27 plus. And Fayetteville, New York is my location that I've got in here. But I can also say, to expand it, maybe I want to say anyone in a city within 10 miles of Fayetteville. So this is actually the radius that I'm looking at now. And right now in here, I've got parents. Yeah, sure, it could be parents, or it could be people who maybe their interest is reading. Maybe I also want to say interest in coffee. Okay, so now I have a defined audience, and this is not in this case, the way that it's set up is reading or coffee. So you can see if I get rid of, or I didn't seem to change the needle there. But yeah, so you can pick different demographics, interests, and behaviors on here. And, it recommends different categories based on what you've put in so far. So I have a defined audience of, maybe I'll make it women 27 to 65 within 10 miles of Fayetteville, who like reading books. And this is the potential audience size is 81,000 people. So let's save that audience and use that audience. And automatic placement is recommended. So in this case, Facebook's delivery system will allocate your ad, the budget, across different placements to where they're likely to perform best. So we showed that these ads can not only show up on Facebook, they can show up in Facebook mobile, desktop, in different apps that are affiliated with Facebook, not just Instagram, but others that are linked to Facebook. So there's a lot of places it could show. And if you become a pro with this and dive further into it and use Ads Manager, you can choose more about how the ad's getting placed and where and when. But if you're getting started, automatic placements is a good way to start. And then let's say I want to run this for the next 2 weeks, and my total budget is $50 for this ad. So with that in mind, that's the maximum that I'm going to spend, and they're estimating that I'll reach somewhere. It's a pretty broad estimate, but it's based on the target audience that I picked and the budget that I picked. I'm estimated to reach somewhere between 370 and 1,100 people a day. And so roughly it's going to be 357 a day. So then to get it going, I would say boost, and it would start running. I can go ahead and actually do that, because you can also pause and cancel your ad at any time. So I'll show you how to do that piece as well. But when you submit an ad, it takes, usually I find it's a very short amount of time that where Facebook, you'll get notified that Facebook is reviewing your ad, and once it's approved, you'll get a notification that your ad has been approved and is running. As soon as you do that, in this ad center here, you will see a summary of how your ad is doing. So for instance, we had an event not long ago, and this ad was done all wrong, so don't use it as an example. It doesn't follow many of the rules that we outlined about, like low text and that sort of thing. Like, this looks clearly like an ad, but we ran an ad. We had an organization class and on Zoom, and right before the event, the attendance was really not a lot of people, I think, knew about it. And so we said, oh, we should boost this event and see what we can do. And so this is what our ad looked like. And the results of the ad, I can see here in the ad center that it reached, we spent $15. That was the budget that I set for it. It reached 2,300 people, and 32 people responded that they were interested or going to the event. So, that for us, it's always effective. Even though we're doing this in a really inexpert and just using sometimes Ad Center versus the Ads Manager, and just sort of doing a rough targeting, like I can show you maybe who the audience that we picked. So we picked people who were working parents, or interested in organization, who lived within 20 miles of New York State, 22 to 65 plus. That's who we picked to target this ad to. And yeah, so that kind of, when we're looking to get a boost in who's attending our event, even something as simple as this, and something as minimal as a $15 budget, can go a long way to getting people to the event. So it's 10:47. All right, I would like to show you just really quickly the other ads tool, which is Ads Manager. So the way to get to Ads Manager is up at the top bar here. If you go to Create, and then you'll see Ad. It's just taking a bit. So here, you can see you're creating a campaign, and you're starting with your marketing objective. The nice thing is that Facebook does kind of walk you very much step by step through these processes. So even if they look complicated and overwhelming, and like there's a lot of decisions to be made, which there kind of can be, they have little help articles or little prompts throughout the way to help you figure out what you're doing. So for instance, what is your marketing objective? Maybe I don't really know what some of these terms even mean. All of these information icons help you further understand. So maybe what you're trying to do is drive traffic to your website. Let's use that as an example. But yes, there's a lot of other objectives that you can pick. Maybe you want to just increase awareness for your brand by reaching people who you don't currently have engaged or liking or following you. Maybe you just want to have a gigantic reach and show your ad to the maximum number of people. Maybe you want to drive video views. Maybe you want to drive messages to your site, or maybe you're really interested in store traffic or conversion. So driving, actual sales on your site. But let's say we're interested in traffic. Let's pick that. So there are some other options. There's a quick creation option. So, I definitely encourage you to experiment with with the quick creation option. You might have also noticed in that ad center, there's a newish feature about creating automatic ads where Facebook asks you to answer some questions about your goals, and then they sort of try to do it for you. They figure out, like, based on what you've told us, it seems like a good goal for you would be increase traffic on your site, and we're going to run 6 different ads and sort of optimize what we think is your best use of your budget and your best placements. And they'll ask you for like 6 different images that you might want to use, and they'll even suggest for you, here are images that you could use from your recent posts or images or videos that you've uploaded to your website. So definitely experiment with those. But I wanted to kind of walk you through a little bit just to see the full capabilities of everything that you can control. Sorry, I'll move this away. Okay, so traffic. So we're looking, maybe I will go to the quick creation for this example. Let's do that. Really, there's a lot of options even within the quick creation. So maybe I want to so let's say here that I'm going to try to, sorry, it's like freezing up on me a little bit. So I'm going to switch to a different ad account. So today's special cafe, it's a cafe downtown. And here is an ad that I was drafting for them. Or I'll go through it as if it was a new one. So I want to let people know now that this cafe is only open Monday through Friday, 7 to 2. So it was really only for the downtown working audience, but now they have Grubhub delivery. So we want to let people know about Grubhub delivery. And so what I'm looking for is I want traffic to my Grubhub site. Now an A/B test is you can create a couple different ads, like with different photos or picking different audiences and different placements, and this will compare how they do. But I'm not going to do that right now. You can pick a daily budget or you can pick a lifetime budget. So maybe I would want to say, all in all, I want to spend $50 on this ad. You can so let's say the ad set that for this, I'm going to say this is, I'm trying to reach maybe people working from home in the area surrounding the city. And I'm going to create a new ad, Grubhub working from home. Save to draft. Okay. So then from here, I've got my budget picked, but you can pick, again, different bid strategies. It gets fairly complex, but you can also sort of use their recommended and default options. But what I wanted to show was this working from home in CNY. So right now, it's not defined, the potential reach, it's not defined. I haven't defined my audience yet. So I'm choosing that I want to drive traffic to my website. You could, or to a website. It could be an app, it could be your messenger, but I'm picking a website. So, and I'm going to run this for a month, and I could use a saved audience or create a new audience. So let's just say I'm going to use a saved audience that I already created. Their interests match lunch or dining out. Oh, this was young professionals specifically. I probably would pick a different audience, but just for the interest of time. And again, this is where you can choose if you're doing automatic or manual placements and what you're looking for there. So there's lots of options for how do we want to deliver the ads to people who are more likely to click on the ads link and load the website? Or do you want people to just see it as much as possible? There's different, lots of different, there's so many different options. And really what I should end, well, after I just show you this last piece, wouldn't it go so slow? Can tend to go a little slow when I'm running Zoom too. So what's the link that I'm trying to send people to? I'm trying to send people to, let's see, Today's Special Cafe on Grubhub. Perfect. And the call to action, that's the button that people will see. Do I want to tell people to learn more, or to shop now, or book now, contact us? Learn more sounds good to me. So this is just automatically from the link I provided, generating 15 placements and how they're going to look in each location, in the Instagram feed and Facebook feed and stories. It's allowing me to preview, and they're using, I didn't input any image, but they're using an image from the website. So I can choose to keep that or change that if I choose. And as usual, I'm running out of time, but this is where you can pick your single image, video, a collection of images. You can pick a lot of different options for how you want it to look. And then also your text. So your headline, your primary text, your description. So long story short, Ads Manager gets much more refined, but also much more complicated than Ads Center. But I just know that these are all the options that exist with creating Facebook ads. I want to stop my share for a second and just share the slideshow again. I have some resources for continued learning that I wanted to mention. One important one that is not on here is there's a resource called lynda.com, Lynda, that you can, if you go to the library's website or download the lynda.com app. Lynda has a lot of courses that you can, they have a course on Facebook ads, and the entire course is, I think, just under 2 hours, but it really can, I would say that would be a great next step if you want to experiment and start with Ad Center, but then get more information to allow you to do all of the targeted ads and getting more control over your goals and using that more complicated ads manager tool, try the Lynda course. It's just 2 hours, but it'll really give you even more of a complete picture of how to do your best with ads. So here are some resources and links about how to advertise, how to budget, how to make sure you don't have too much text on your ads, and how to install a Facebook tracking pixel. I guess I left off that link, but Facebook has, if you just Google search that, Facebook has their step-by-step walkthrough. So I'm sorry, I always go over on time. It's just so much to share. Does anyone have any questions now that we're out of time? And I guess that we don't have the chat feature enabled for the library's account. So if you want to ask a question, you'd have to just unmute yourself.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to say thank you to Leah. This is her last session in our series that's been going on since June for all the Facebook topics. So I think it's been very educational and we appreciate it. And thank you. And I don't know if Bill wants to say, because we have one more session on August 24th. And the Manlius Library is covering it. It's YouTube for Business.
Yep. We'll be talking about all things YouTube, live streaming, just some best practices. It is growing, and also how to advertise on YouTube, because you can see like local ads before you just check out a video, and how to get in on that. So yeah, a few of us will be discussing it, and hope to see you there.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, Leah.
Bye.
Bye.